Yeah, man. So I just redid the connection from Restream to YouTube. But on YouTube, it like the encoder little code or whatever seems to be wrong, and it won't let me change it. So that could be what the issue is if this doesn't work. Got YouTube. Yay. All right, fixed. Thanks, man. Thanks for checking that out. I see your chat from YouTube. Fantastic. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another Nature's Always Right live stream. Today we are going to be working on the worm bins. I'll show you guys the compost pile that we made last week on the live stream, and we're going to flip that thing and talk more details about it. But first, I'm going to redo these worm bins and show you guys exactly how I'm going to do that. And I just filmed an in-depth video all about this as well. That'll be coming out in the next few weeks. What's up, everybody? Yo, yo, yo. Fixed a lot of things on the YouTube and Twitch streaming platform, so hopefully it'll work a lot better today. All right. So here we go. Check it out. So here are the worm bins. These ones are my top bin, so they still have time to go before they're finished. But we'll be harvesting these ones. So first thing I'm going to do is just harvest and then show you how I'm going to rebuild them all. What's up, Deline? Alrighty. So first let's harvest. And I've got an in-depth video all about how to make this worm compost system and take care of it. So let me show you guys. Oh, this will be fun. I've got a bunch of these really cool grubs to harvest too. And I'll feed them to the chickens and show you guys that. It's always a fun time. These grubs are from the fig eater beetle, which are super common in summer here in San Diego. One of their favorite treats. Yeah, so when you see vegetarian fed chickens at the store, yeah, chickens are not vegetarians whatsoever. I just always think that's a funny thing to bring up. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. We are making worm bins today. All right. Be sure to follow me on Twitch if you aren't already. I'm almost to 50 followers on there, and Twitch is another really cool live streaming platform. I've got a link in the description for my Twitch profile. Twitch, I mean. So check this out. This is a lot of worm castings. It's like 50 pounds of worm castings or something. It's a lot. And this is what I'll be using to make my worm tea and all that sort of stuff. I blend it in for fertilizer for my crops as well. Let's get this out of here. And I'll get about 50 or more pounds every 2 to 3 months when I remake these bins. And if you want to learn how to do this, I've got a video. Just search worm bin on my YouTube channel and you'll be able to see. Okay. Where'd my gloves go? Yo, yo. Cool, so this is vermicompost. This is worm bin compost. So this is a cold composting process. And we're gonna check out the hot compost that we made earlier, or out last week, I mean. So you guys can check that out. But first, gotta set up the bins. The first thing I like to do is just put a little bit of cardboard down on the bottom, and that just prevents any of the new bedding from falling through my holes. Oh. Then I'm going to add in a bunch of worm bedding. I like to use a diverse amount of carbon for my worms. And I'll be doing about 3 layers. And you guys can support the stream through super chatting me or through PayPal. Would definitely appreciate it. If you have any questions, I won't be answering anything till I'm done with this little project here. So you can super chat me if you'd like an immediate answer. And I'm gonna get some egg cartons and I'll be right back. So for the worm bedding, you should only ever use cardboard, no ink. I don't use any of that. Definitely no magazines, no bleached paper. Okay, I'm going to add in some compost. I'll just show you guys some of the little special amendments I'm going to be adding. This is not necessary. You could just do layers of the cardboard and compost and all that organic matter and microbes and fungi. The worms could actually just live off of that. Of course, we're going to be adding in vegetable scraps at the end. But this is a 3-tote system, so they're going to be coming from this lower tote under here and then coming up into this tote to get all the fresh bedding and stuff. So one of my amendments is oyster shell. Oyster shell's fantastic. You could of course use eggshells as well. I'm going to be adding that in too. But oyster shells, the bacteria and the worms kind of work in synergy, and they can create chitin out of this material, which is really important for the cell walls of plants. And I'll show you guys what it looks like. I just use a small amount of this stuff because it takes a very long time for that to break down. Okay, next I'm going to add in some a little bit of kelp meal. This also has mycorrhizae in it. And contrary to popular belief, the worms actually don't feed on the food and vegetative matter itself. What they feed on is the microbes and the fungi that are feeding on the food. So a lot of people believe that they're actually eating the banana peel or things like that. That's not actually what's happening though. So I want to incorporate amendments and foods in there that are going to grow really good biology and fungi, create a real diverse ecosystem in here for the worms to live off of, which is going to have more diverse gut bacteria going well, it'll increase the diversity of the gut bacteria of the worms, which will make the biology of my future worm teas even better, and my soil when I put it out into the field. And I'm also going to get more nutrients in the vermicompost as well. Here's something else I'm going to add. This is the first time I've ever added this to my worm bin. This is bokashi. And I'll make a future video all about this. But basically what this is inoculated grain. And it's been inoculated with EM1, effective microorganisms 1, or lactobacillus. Has fermented plant juice, minerals, different things that my buddy added in. You can pick this up from SD Microbe. It's a San Diego company. So this is just adding in more beneficial biology. I also have biochar that I made. I could sprinkle in some biochar in here as well. That's another great amendment that you could add in here. And I'm going to go grab that. I'm going to throw a tiny bit of that in here as well. So this is biochar, and I inoculated this with my worm compost tea, Korean natural farming, lots of great stuff. It's all in here. And I'll eventually make a video all about this. I'm going to make a large-scale 55-gallon drum version so I can make a lot of biochar at a time. But I'll just sprinkle a very small amount in, because I don't have a lot of this stuff right now. Alright, so that's layer number 1, and we're going to do 2 more layers just like this. Oh, I forgot to add in, I'll add in a little bit of this too. I don't have any dried leaves. That's another great little carbon source. This is pretty small chunks of wood chips, a little bit of pine needle, a little bit of leaf is in here as well. You don't want big chunks of wood chips though, because they don't really break down or anything. So, but you know, the more diverse amounts of carbon, the better for the worms and all the biology in here that I've added. Okay, next layer. Cool. Yeah, check out Twitch, guys. If you, I'd appreciate a follow over there as well if you could do that for me. I'm trying to get my account kind of going on there and trying to live stream more and more. And I've got links down in the description to Twitch and different things you might find interesting that might help you guys about these topics as well. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to add moisture. So at each one of these layers, I'm going to add a small amount of moisture because the worms need a moist environment. It does not need to be sopping wet, just a little bit. And then that's going to give me some worm leachate at the end of this process. And worm leachate is very different than worm tea. Worm tea is aerated, and you're making an aerobic tea. This is technically more anaerobic, so a little bit different microbes and a little bit higher. Well, you just need to be more careful with it because there could, very low chance that there's pathogens because of the gut biome of the worm. They break down any pathogens, but it's not something you would want to water out onto your lettuce mix and then harvest that lettuce mix the next day and eat it just as a precaution, especially if you're selling to customers. The compost that I'm adding is not fully broken down, so I'm going to let the rest of that process happen in the worm bin. Okay, one more layer. Oh. If you pre-shred everything ahead of time, that's the way to speed up this process. A little bit of cardboard. So I've got different types of cardboard. Some are going to be Alrighty. One more layer. Cool. So check it out. Got it set up, 3 layers in each thing. Now that water you just saw me add, that's pretty much all I'm gonna add for now. I might add some a little bit later, maybe on a hotter day. But typically, most of the year, that's like the most water I'll probably add, because I'll get a little bit of rain. Once summer comes though, it's a good idea to make sure they're always moist. They gotta stay cool. Make sure your worm bins are always fully covered and in shade in the summer, otherwise they'll roast out and die. So the last thing to finish this is to add some nice fresh veggies on top, and that'll help to attract them down from this bottom bin up into this upper bin. Another thing I could do, and I do sometimes, is I'll just inoculate the top bin. I'll just throw some of the red wrigglers in there, and then they'll start propagating up there, but you know, I can just let them crawl up from underneath too. All right, here, so check out, here's some of the things I'm gonna be throwing in there. And I'll tell you the favorite foods of the worms, well, of the bacteria that are symbiotically living with the worms, that is. So, oh, thanks, yeah, these beets were harvested this last week. They're killing it right now. Okay, so the best worm food, and I say food in quotes because like I said earlier, the worms are actually living off of fungi and bacteria, not the actual veggies themselves. So the best things, banana peels, anything in the cucurbitacea family like cucumbers, squash, melons, pumpkins, all of those type of things, they love it. You know, some leafy greens are pretty good. Chopping up some beets is pretty good. All that is excellent. Then of course you got your eggshell. That's fantastic to blend up. That's just like using your that oyster shell that I showed you guys. Very similar. There's also organic matter from the membrane left over inside of the eggshell. So there's lots of good nutrients in that. So I'm just gonna kind of shred up a little bit of this and get it ready. The chickens are desperate for something to fall underneath. So I'll just crunch up all my eggshells really good. And it's really important, especially when you're starting out a new bin, to not add too much veggies in there because it'll start rotting and it will attract flies, which will lay larvae, which you don't really want in there. It's not a disaster, but you really just want the worms to be in there. There's going to be other symbiotic life that's going to come in, like roly-polies, maybe soldier fly. Here in San Diego, we have the fig eater beetle. Those get in there sometimes. There's also these little small mites that can get in, but all those are symbiotic decomposers that will just hang out with your worms. So don't freak out too much, but you wouldn't want to see a ton of flies and maggots in there. That would be a sign that you added too much of that stuff. What is this? I don't want that. Also, if you're smelling like a really bad anaerobic smell, that would also be a bad sign that you put too much vegetative matter in there. Just take it out and compost it, or throw it away, and then you'll be back to normal. So for big things like beets, you know, they can't really handle, it's so big. So chop it up into little thin slices. Isn't that pretty? These are Detroit Red beets, by the way. If you're in San Diego, I sell my food at the La Mesa Farmers Market every Friday. Okay, this is way more than enough to get the worm started. The rest of this will go to the chickens. Sorry, trying to get you guys higher here. Okay. So I'll show you kind of what I would put in to get a bin started. And I'll try to take a little bit of all the different ingredients and put them in here. So a little bit of the artichoke, a little bit of the banana peel, a little bit of the leaves, a couple of the beets, and that's it. That's all I would start with until a few weeks later I come back and I'll see that this is full of worms. Cool. So here's what it looks like. This is what I like to start with to prevent those issues that I mentioned earlier. And I am going to add some worms to the top of this. So I'm going to go into my harvest bucket here and grab a few worms, and just to get it started off. That's another great way to prevent it from rotting and stuff, is to get worms in here ready to go. And eventually the guys in this lower tote will come up to join them once they've finished off everything in the lower one. Cool. Alright guys, that's done. So that's how you do it. That's how you restart a worm bin. And you know, this takes me like 30-40 minutes, and every 2 to 3 months I'm harvesting this much from 6 totes. And I could add on more totes to this system really easily and get a heck of a lot more vermicompost, but for now this is enough for my little market garden, so that's perfect. And mainly what I'm using this vermicompost for is my teas, and I'm making super high quality aerated worm teas. I've got a video in the description if you'd like to see how I make that as well. So now I just got to put the lids back on, get my cardboard protection back on, and then we're going to move on and we're going to check out the compost that we made on the live stream last week. And then check it out down here. So my leachate is draining in there. I gotta blow it out. There's some of the stuff got stuck in there. But this is fantastic, full of microbes and nutrients and fulvic acids, things like that I can water into my fruit trees and herbs, different things. Okay, before we get started, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Worms eat better than my brother. Yeah, my chickens eat really good too. Eat better than most Americans, I'm sure. All right. I will answer questions, I guess, at the end. In all my live streams, I like to sit down with you guys at the very end, and I'll just chat with you guys and answer your different questions and stuff. But if you guys want to support the stream and keep me doing this every week, you can donate through PayPal or join my Patreon. I've got a link down in the description, or super chat me, and I'll be happy to answer your question in depth live. Thanks for joining, everybody. Okay, so checking out the compost here. So for those of you that didn't see, this is the compost that we made last week, and it's been about a week, I guess, since we made the pile. And it reached a maximum temperature of 144 degrees Fahrenheit, which is fantastic. We're trying to reach temperatures of 130 to like 160 degrees to kill pathogens, weed seeds, and to cook this to make it go to cook up quickly. And now what I'm going to do, we need to turn this to inject more oxygen in there. That's going to bring the temperature back up, hopefully back up to 140. It could even go hotter than that. So that'll be the next thing. I'll do a YouTube story either tomorrow or the next day when it reaches that max temp again to update you guys. So be sure to check out my stories. So yeah, that's the kind of a process that we're doing. We're just always trying to keep it at the max temperature. So we're gonna flip it, raise it back to max temp, let it cool down a little bit, just like this did. It's like at 124, so it cooled down about 20 degrees. I could have flipped this yesterday probably, and that would have been better. All right, here we go. Let's flip this thing, and we'll keep moving. After we do compost, I'm gonna plant some pepper seedlings. The rest of my pepper seedlings I have going. just feeling like I had a little bit too much carbon, so that's why I pulled some off. All right, so I'm going to flip the pile this direction and just bit by bit, so I make sure I turn it all really thoroughly. If you guys haven't followed me on Twitch yet, check the link in the description and head on over there. Please give me a follow over there. I'm almost to 50 followers. I'd really appreciate your support. So as I'm going through this pile, I'm using my eyes and my nose to address this pile and think about what's going on. I can smell a little bit of anaerobic smell as I'm getting to the center and bottom part of the pile, which, you know, can happen because some of that water likes to settle down there. And water will flush out a lot of the oxygen, causing that anaerobic state. And anaerobic means it's lacking oxygen or very low oxygen environment. We want to keep it aerobic or having oxygen so that the pile's breaking down efficiently and we're only proliferating aerobic, healthy microbes. So it's a good thing that I'm turning this, and it also tells me that I probably shouldn't add any more water to this, and I'm checking that out just by looking too. That tells me, you know, I've got a good amount of water in there, so the flip will add air, help it dry out a little bit, get rid of those anaerobic microbes by injecting oxygen and air, and then I won't need to add water, and the pile will heat up without it. As I'm grabbing some of the wetter material, I'm piling that. Then I'm trying to grab some of the outer material on the outside that's drier and mixing that together. so that it's gonna help it have a little bit better burn, help to soak up some of that water too, and it'll just make a better pile for me. Yeah, this pile is gonna heat up really hot after this, I can tell. Hopefully we can go above 140. And I'm trying to build this pile up as high as I possibly can. Nice. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. Whew. All right, I'll answer a few questions here. This burlap's done. And this burlap's just going to help hold in moisture and keep the sun from baking on it. Right, now we're all reset for this thing. It's nice and high now, about 3 feet high at least, and all covered. Good to go. All right, let's sit down and answer a couple of questions. I'm gonna plant some peppers. Oh, nice. Thanks for answering people's questions, you guys. That's really nice of you. Yeah, I've got in-depth videos all about how to make a compost pile on my YouTube channel. If you're interested in learning how to do what I was just doing, if you want to make really good, healthy compost. Oh, that's cool, Elijah. That's really cool. Yeah, check out my website. I've got all my videos are up there, all the podcasts I've ever been on. I've got different products that I recommend for the garden and farm on there now. Going to be putting articles soon. Lots of updates coming to my website, naturesalwaysright.com. So here's some of the pepper seedlings I grew from seed. These are California Wonders, I believe. So yeah, I do all bell peppers. That's what sells really well at the market, and you can get a good price for them. Okay. Alrighty, so these are all my different grow bags. A few of them got devoured by worms, so I need to replant them. And that's why I'm putting the peppers in. So let me do this. I'm gonna grab some of my fertilizer I made too. Check out this crazy chard plant that I had growing back here. It's like 5 feet tall. All right, it was bolting, so I'm gonna give it to the chickens. just my fertilizer mix. I'm going to use that as I plant. Alright, just gonna water these in. And then I'll run the whole drip system tomorrow. As soon as I finish watering in, I'll stop, and then I can chat with you guys and answer questions. All right. Let's go over here. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed watching a little bit. If you guys have any questions about anything I did during the live stream, let me know, and I'll try to help you guys. If you guys want to talk about anything, we can talk Game of Thrones, we can talk about anything. Yeah, the grow bags are doing pretty well. Hey, what's up, Casey? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's exactly the same methods that I use, man. And I'm doing more and more KNF. Yeah, I was talking with Drake a little bit on Instagram, and he's doing like a big tour through the U.S. I don't know if you know. I'm gonna try to make it to his class in Orange County if I can. Trying to learn a lot more. Oh, what'd the stream die on me?
Chat froze on your screen.
Oh, it did? Oops. Well, is there any way to restart it or no?
It should. Yeah, you should be able to just refresh it real quick.
How do I refresh it? You could probably hear yourself on the stream.
I can. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how to refresh, but just check the settings real quick.
Okay, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Bye.
Bye. See if I can figure this out, you guys. I'm still a noob at this. There we go. It looks like it. Somebody typed something. Let's see if it worked. Yep, I see it. I see you guys. I think it's working. Let him know that it froze. I see that I think it's working again. Nice. Legendary. Oh, that's super cool. You're doing PDC and Elaine Ingham's course. That is awesome. Yeah, that's all the different methods that I'm using. That's exactly what I do. Those people are awesome. Cool, now I know how to refresh the stream, the chat. That's always good. I'm glad to know that there's so many people out there that are into these growing methods, because this is the future. This is the future of farming, is all the soil food web stuff, Korean natural farming, no-till. Gabe Brown, if you're into large-scale animal agriculture, or Richard Perkins. Those are some of my favorite people. Yeah, in Hawaii, he ran for, mayor or congressman or something ridiculous. So funny. Yeah, Drake's the man. Why were worms eating my peppers? I don't know. There's a lot of bug pressure over there on that side. For some reason, some of my kale got eaten up. There's a ton of weeds growing wild over there. I just weed whacked a bunch of them down. That could be it. You know, a lot of plants in close proximity. They're probably not as healthy as they would be in my soil-based beds, so they may, a little bit weaker, so they're a little more sensitive to pests, and I don't spray any type of pesticides. So what's up, Legendary? Are you planning on streaming more often in the future? Yeah, I will be. I'm gonna try to do it once a week. I should get on some sort of schedule, I guess. I just, I'm always doing different stuff all the time, but Tuesdays work out pretty good for me. I'm gonna start doing more Korean natural farming stuff on the stream too eventually. I want to make IMO on the stream. I think that'd be fun to show people. But I haven't made any videos on my YouTube about that stuff yet. I want to learn a lot before I'm making an in-depth video about it. And I really want to take one of Drake's classes, or maybe Chris Trump's classes if they come through. You know how the Korean natural farming people are. You really got to know your stuff, and I don't want to make any mistakes. I usually only make YouTube videos about stuff that I'm really knowledgeable on or have a lot of experience on. In general, that's what I do for those videos. Do it every Tuesday. All right, that'd be cool. Lab, you can use Lab for fungal problems. You can use it for just increasing the health of any of your plants. You can use it for as a probiotic for yourself. It's used in other Korean natural farming implements, and Lab is it's pretty easy to make. It's really fun to make. You can make cheese with the leftovers of it, which is kind of cool. Chris Trump has a fantastic how-to video. Just give it a try. It's what do you got to lose other than $5 on milk and some rice, and I'm just going through my plants that I've got some IMO. Actually, you know what? Hey, let's do some I'll make some IMO, just liquid, not true liquid IMO, but I'll go add that to the compost really quick. I'll show you guys my IMO 2. I've got 2 collections so far. I need to make a 3rd. I get my straw from a local feed store, and that's where I'm getting it right now. So I'll show you guys my IMO. So IMO, that is indigenous microorganisms. That's what it stands for. And I haven't gotten like a perfect collection yet. I'm still working on that, but I've gotten decent collections. And I've been having issues with like the collection will get real watery once I change it to IMO 2. But you know, I did this collection in December of last year, and I'm gonna go pour it over my compost pile that you guys saw me make. Maybe I'll do that about that. But I'm trying to do different topics for each live stream. And the brown sugar, for those of you that don't know, the brown sugar is to stabilize and basically put all the microbes to sleep. You might be able to see there's a little red guy right there. That's one species of fungi and some microorganisms in there. Or of billions of species, rather. Okay, so I'm gonna add some water. Check out KoreanNaturalFarming.net. Those are the two best American English-speaking teachers. Indigenous microorganisms under a growth, and so it's a very diverse collection, and I'm gonna go inoculate my compost pile with it. Yeah, you know, my 4G is not very good right here. Yeah, it has to be brown sugar. Has to be brown. You can't use molasses or other types. Just, yeah, it needs to be brown. Yeah, maybe I should I'll move to find some more 4G. The town that I'm in, for whatever reason, has bad 4G. Nightmare. All right, so let me just we're gonna blend it up. This is just this really super simple way to put out your IMO too. You can also make liquid IMO where you aerate it and add in some other ingredients. Oh, nice organic no-till. Yeah, water soluble, phosphate and calcium and stuff. I've done that one. I've only done 4 different K&F inputs so far. But yeah, water soluble calcium, phosphate, those are the 2 I've done. They're pretty awesome. I've been spraying them out on my crops. So yeah, definitely check out my Twitch if you guys haven't already. Please follow me on there. Twitch is a fantastic live streaming platform. It's much better than YouTube even. So basically I've just added my microbes out into this water, and then I'm gonna pour it out into my compost there. Or I could, you could inoculate anything with that. Your garden bed, when you're planting trees, you could put it in, water it in with that. There's so many fantastic things you can do with Korean natural farming. Oh, nice, Jerry. It's raining. Perfect. Yeah, you don't have to go out in the garden. And huge thanks to Dragstrip Farm. I've got a link, you guys, to all of his stuff down in the description, his YouTube, Instagram, and his Twitch. And he's starting up his small farm here real soon on a very interesting piece of land. And it's going to be pretty interesting to watch him develop it. He plans on using chickens and chicken tractors to help prep and fertilize his land. So he's going to be doing lots of cool stuff. So definitely go follow him, and his links are down in the description below. So I'm going to take this IMO2 that I put in the water, and I'm just going to simply pour it over the compost pile, and that's it. And I'll be right back. Using my sprinkler on my salad mix. What else are you guys talking about? Composting and worm farm will work. No, yeah, you should, if you're doing a garden of any size, you should definitely do a worm compost system. You just can't buy better compost. Or you can't, if you're gonna buy vermicompost, it's just, the stuff you can make at home is way better. There's some really nice systems that you can just buy. Look for continuous flow worm bin systems or worm bag systems. Those are fantastic. I highly recommend those if you just want to buy something. If you want to build something yourself, then the 3-tote system that I use is really good. I have a video on my YouTube about how to set that up. Compost on a small scale can be a little bit difficult because you need to reach high temperatures. And a lot of home gardeners typically don't have enough material to make it work, or they don't have animal manure, and it takes a bit of experience before you're, able to compost really efficiently. But yeah, if I was gonna do anything first, I would do worm vermicompost first. How come my worm tub doesn't release any leachate? Can I still make worm tea? Well, leachate, you're only gonna get the leachate when you add water over the top. If you wanna make worm tea, then you need to aerate it. So you'll take, do I have one? Let me get one. Yeah, Elijah. So for worm tea, you're gonna take, or if you wanna make compost tea, you'll take finished compost or finished worm compost, and you can put it in a paint strainer bag like this. You can get these from Home Depot for a couple bucks. So you'll take up to 5 pounds for a 30-gallon amount. If you want to do a 5-gallon bucket, you just need a pound or half a pound to a pound of worm castings, and then you're gonna add water to that and then aerate it You should go watch my video all about that. But you need to aerate it really well so that it doesn't go anaerobic. And typically you're going to aerate for 24 to 48 hours. Typically active at around 36 hours, sometimes 48 hours. It depends on the temperature, the ambient temperature. I noticed that my chickens were getting low on their oyster shell. I free feed oyster shell and chicken grits, and they need little small rocks for they have an organ called a crop, I believe it's called, and that's what blends up seeds and other things that are difficult to digest, but chickens can do it. This is the pigeon. I use pigeon grit, which has charcoal and shell, has some other minerals in there that are good for birds. I'll go show you guys. Let's go hang out with the chickens for a minute. Do I use a heater for what? No, I definitely don't name my chickens. You know, these aren't my pets. You know, I love my chickens, but a heater for the worm tea? No, I definitely don't. Well, I could. I'm in San Diego though, so the temperature, the ambient temperature is always really good for the worm tea. I would be really careful about a heater because you wouldn't want to go too hot. Can I put this? Need to aerate longer. It'll just take the populations longer to blow up, but now that we're going to spring and summer, it's so warm, I definitely don't need a heater here. You got to be careful with horse manure though, because so you can talk to the people if they've fed medication within 2 weeks, I probably wouldn't use the manure, or you want to make sure it's just really well composted so any of that stuff is gone. Grasses that could get into best carbon to nitrogen ratio of any manure. It's 24 to 1. What? So if I was gonna name one of my chickens, I'd probably name this one. This is my nicest chicken. And it's a Rhode Island Red. But she's just really docile. She always follows me around and stuff. Most of them don't peck me unless like I've got food around, then they'll like accidentally peck me. I've got 20 chickens in here. Ah, yeah, you're right. The signal is bad here. Well, God, that's so annoying. The chicken totally crapped all over me. Alright. Gotta wash this now. Bye, chickens. Oh, so here's the leachate that I got. So I'm gonna water this out right now. And I'm gonna add this over to my berry and grape area. And those things are just loaded with berries right now. So if you're gonna use your leachate and not aerate it, then you should use it while it's fresh. Use it right away after it's drained out. And since I'm selling my food, I don't put it on any crops that I'm harvesting. I just put it on my fruiting stuff like trees and berries and passion fruit, herbs that I'm not harvesting, things like that. Just as a safety precaution. It's very safe, don't get me wrong, but since I'm selling food, I have to take an extra level of safety. So there's the berries. You guys got to check out how many berries I'm gonna get this year. It's ridiculous. So all these little things here, those are berries. Check out how much fruit is set on this thing. So this is from Korean Natural Farming, Compost and Worm Teas, No-Till, Biochar, worm castings. So it's gonna be a pretty good berry season. Oh, nice. My alert worked. Thanks for subscribing on Twitch. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm geeking out on the streaming stuff I set up. Those berries, me and the landlords eat a lot of them, but there's so many this year I'll be selling them at the farmers market. And those were, I forgot if I think they're blackberries. I've got blackberries and boysenberries. I kind of just forgot which was which. So what are you doing there? So I'm gonna collect some eggs. I got a lot of broody chickens right now, which is kind of annoying, but in fact, one of the chickens is sitting in the same spot that they were for a long time, so I'm gonna actually move her. Let's see, did the chat freeze again? Oh, there it goes. Nice. Yeah, berries are very expensive, especially at the farmer's market. What's up, Lou? So I'm gonna move these chickens. So the broody chickens that want to sit on the, brooding, that means they want to sit on the eggs, and they think that they can hatch the eggs, but they can't because there's no rooster. I just have hens. So it's just part of their instinct, and you know, sometimes they won't take care of themselves very well and like drink water, eat enough food. So I'm just gonna throw them all in the pen and let them hopefully eat some stuff. This one right here, this is a barred rock chicken. She's pretty vicious. She's gonna attack me. Wow. There you go. Go. This is the one I really want to get. Game Toad, thanks for subscribing. Yeah, they didn't like that, but they've just been in there for way too long. And I want to make sure that they're eating and drinking water and stuff. But you can see some of the eggs. I have all brown layers. The one squawking is the one that always attacks me. She's kind of pissed off right now, I think. See, I've got Rhode Island Reds, Rhode Island Whites, Barred Rocks, Black Jersey Giants, and Blue Wyandottes. So I have 5 different breeds. I'm gonna see if they're laying anywhere else in here. Yeah, have you guys ever played The Legend of Zelda? You know when you like hit the chicken a million times and then all those chickens attack you? That's what it reminds me of. All right. So funny. But I don't know. That's how many eggs I got today. So I got 5. I only got 10 eggs. I had been getting 12 eggs a day. Yep. Built my coop by hand. Designed it myself. I raised chickens before with my buddy when I used to live with him. And so I learned a lot about chicken coops and thought a lot about the design, the different features that I wanted in it. And I've got a couple of videos about my coop and the different features that I've built into it. 2 of my favorite features are the automatic feeding system and watering systems. So all their food, you can fit over 50 pounds of feed in those tubes. I have a video on how to do that if you just search my YouTube channel. And then that's their watering system. It's a poultry nipple system, and it's all connected to a 55-gallon drum. And in the winter, it will actually collect rainwater from this gutter system. So these chickens are really easy to take care of. It's crazy low maintenance. All I do is collect the eggs and, clean out their bedding and make compost every month or so. So it's very easy to take care of chickens if you set it up right. No way, the chickens aren't getting any berries. They can have some veggies though. Yeah, I turned the chicken berries into really good compost. Am I famous? I don't think so. I'm just a guy. I just put videos on YouTube, man. That's all it is. Oh, the nipples didn't work for you. That sucks. Yeah, that's really tricky with freezing. I haven't had to deal with freezing weather because I'm spoiled and I'm here in San Diego. I know some people in like really freezing weather, they put heaters in their water to prevent that from happening. But it depends if you have electricity access and all that. There was a guy, I swear I saw a video on YouTube. He was in a place that's really cold where it goes to 0 degrees and below, and he had some system set up that really didn't even need a heater. It was pretty interesting. I can't remember the name of the video right now though. Yeah, Twitch is interesting. It's been fun trying the live streaming stuff and figuring out how to set it all up. It's been fun. Definitely follow me on Twitch if you guys haven't already. I'd appreciate the support over there. I gotta make the chat text a little bigger. I have to like get super close. Crystal. Welcome, Crystal from Puerto Rico. That's gotta be an amazing place to grow food. You got lots of cool tropical stuff there. Yeah, I wish I could let the chickens free range. They used to free range out here all the time, but once my market garden got set up, it's just too crazy. They'll devour all the food, and I got to make money selling food, so I definitely don't do that anymore. But their coop's pretty big. It's like 220 square feet, so it's plenty of room for 20 chickens. Yep, I've definitely looked into Jadam. I have the book. I've been reading through it. I've made anaerobic brews. Like I've got a video on my YouTube channel about comfrey and yarrow tea, and you just let it go anaerobic in a bunch of water, and you keep stirring it. Anaerobic stuff is interesting, right? Because there's just the potential for microbes that can harm humans. Basically the only microbes that will hurt us, like Salmonella, Listeria, E. coli, all these different things that are possible pathogens, it's all anaerobic. I don't think there's any aerobics that will hurt us. So, that's sort of the thing. Travel and outdoors section. Oh, nice. Okay, maybe I should put myself on travel and outdoors. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what category is the best. Thank you for the tip. I can't see your guys' names. It's like too small. I need to adjust that. The Living Farm had a video on underground heated water. Oh, that sounds really interesting. Pretty cool. Yeah, you can do like, I've seen people do like they'll put a metal coil, copper coil inside of a compost setup, and they'll heat water that way. That's pretty neat. Just got a new book, You Can Farm by Joel Salatin. Yeah, Joel Salatin's books are awesome. I love Joel Salatin. Definitely one of my farming heroes, that's for sure. He's the man. I'm really excited about Richard Perkins' new book that's coming out. I think it's called Regenerative Agriculture or Regenerative Farming. It's going to be like over 700 pages covering all of his different systems that he does on his farm. He's doing, animal integrated systems, market gardening, microgreens, poultry, like broilers and eggs, and he does everything. He's insane. Richard Perkins is really awesome if you guys don't know who he is. He's on YouTube as well. Yeah, it's hard to see your names, but yeah, that's cool. You're trying out some of my techniques. That's really great. And most of the stuff I'm showing, I learned from other people too. I'm not inventing all this stuff. Just Chatting has the most amount of viewers on Twitch by far. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the best channel for me. I don't know, but I'll have to do some more research, mess around with it. As a green crop that doesn't give fruit become a hybrid? Can I I don't know. The potential audience is in Just Chatting. Cool, thank you. Thanks for the help, guys. Anything else you guys want to see or talk about out here? What time is it? 7:40. You guys can see some of the garden. I just harvested a lot of beans, harvested like 10 pounds of beans. Sure, yeah, I have kept bees, but I lost them unfortunately last year. A bunch of ants invaded and attacked them, and I lost them. And now I'm just too busy with a lot of different things that I'm too busy for the bees right now, and I can't keep my bees at this current property. So in the future, I'm absolutely going to be keeping bees again, and I'll talk about that in the future. But I have a couple videos on bees on my YouTube channel. Any thoughts on how I'd set up a garden near a nuclear plant? I don't know. I'd probably move away from the nuclear plant. But yeah, I would not want to be anywhere radiation. Or if I lived in Fukushima, Japan, I'd get the heck out of there. Nice, Jerry. Thanks for going on Twitch. Thanks for following me. I appreciate it. Yeah, we could go check out the greenhouse. I don't know. You guys will have to tell me if I have 50. I can't see it. Oh, sweet. 55? That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for pushing me over the edge there. I don't know. There's not too much to talk about in here. Most of my stuff's already out in the field. Thanks for all the support, guys. You guys are awesome. I don't know. Here's some of my microgreens. So this is stuff that I'm growing for my micro mix. So I got sunflower here. This is broccoli, kale. In the back is radish. This week I kind of had a big disaster and had a little mold outbreak on, these are peas and these are beets. So these two trays will, most of it's not really viable. So, but I've got enough to make my micro mix at least. And trying to mitigate that. I did a bunch more trays today, and I'm gonna do more tomorrow. So hopefully I can fix that. Microgreens sell really well. People love them. I mean, I love them. I like them better than my salad mix, actually. They're awesome. So yeah, microgreens, fantastic. I'm making an extra, it depends how many I sell, and I've only been carrying them for about 4 weeks at the market now. But now I'm making like an extra like $120 to $150 a week gross revenue by adding in the microgreens, and it only takes me like maybe an extra hour a week to do the trays and to harvest them and stuff. Maybe 2 hours if you include washing and bagging. So it's pretty awesome. And then if I wanted to scale this up, I could sell to restaurants, and I could make a lot more money doing the microgreens on a really small scale. So I highly recommend doing it if you're a small scale farmer. They're just a really fantastic way to make more revenue. Okay, so in the greenhouse, here's something different. I cut a hole, I cut a big hole in the top there for ventilation. So that helps them to harden off and gives them a stronger structure, so that when you put them out into the field, they're not shocked by all the extra movement from the wind. As well as I need the ventilation because it's going to get really hot in here. I'll be putting shade cloth 50-50 over the top pretty soon for summer. As far as seedlings go, I mean, this is just a bunch of leftover tomatoes and stuff. Like, I just planted a bunch of lettuce. Everything else is in the ground. Like, all my summer stuff is done and planted. Now I just gotta maintain it. I'm still planting sets of lettuce here. This is lettuce for the paper pot transplanter. More lettuce. I've got beets going. I've got more basil. I've got more peppers that I'm trying to sprout. Basil. I'm going to do a little bit more chard and kale right here. I'm going to try to grow it under some 50-50 shade, or maybe even in some full shade in the summer, so I can keep growing it and it won't bolt. So that's that. This is kind of cool. I just got these recently from Curtis Stone, the paperpot.co. Here's like the dibbler to poke the holes, and this is chains. This is pretty cool. You can check my other live stream out about that. I'll eventually make a YouTube video all about paper pot stuff and how to do it. I'm just trying to get really good at doing it before I make my full video. See you later, the Lil Andor. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. I don't have a Discord server yet, but that's definitely something I want to look into setting up for sure. Discord is awesome. And I'm not a big fan of Facebook or any other big tech companies and all the censorship and garbage that they do. So I'd love to have a Discord server, and then I'm in complete control of it. But yeah, thanks for the reminder. I will eventually do that for sure. Rice hulls, perlite, and other items in your soil for tilth. I don't add rice hulls or perlite out into my garden beds itself, but cool, Matt. That'd be awesome. We should totally set that up. But yeah, I don't add the rice hulls or anything like that into my soil. I'm just a big believer in doing no-till or like minimal till. I use a broad fork, and I let the microbes and the fungi do the work for me, and they're going to convert that soil. I'm going to keep adding organic matter in the form of compost, and over time, my soil is just going to get better and better. So I don't add things like that in. Yeah, Justin Rhodes is fantastic. He's got a lot of pretty cool content. I don't like, he puts way too much of his kids in there though. It gets old. I don't really, I'm more interested in like what he's, different projects he's working on and how he's taking care of his chickens, different stuff like that. But it's a great family channel. It's a great alternative to a lot of the garbage that people watch on TV. I really like White House on the Hill is another really cool homesteading channel, and they're friends of mine on the internet, and they always have really cool stuff. They have emus and all sorts of cool stuff. Yeah, I feel that. Yep. Oh wow, the moon is super cool. I don't know if you guys could see it, but It's just like a little fingernail. It's awesome. Yeah, I use shade cloth in the summer. I do 50-50. I do 50% shade cloth. And last year I was able to grow all my salad mixes year round here in San Diego. We have temperatures of up to 100, and I was able to keep it going. And you can also spray out water over the top with misters or with overhead sprinklers, and that's another way to help keep your crops from bolting and keep them cool. Chisel plows to break up compaction, and in some cases you can save time by doing it once and never again. Yeah, legendary. I agree with that. I tilled, and or it would take a lot of money, like over $1,000 in compost to make the beds, and I didn't have that at the time. So yeah, using a chisel plow or tilling the first time, I believe, is a good way to start off a plot. It just depends on the context, the soil that you have. You know, if you had really sandy soil, you wouldn't really need to till, right? But there's different scenarios for every situation, I think. I get away with it. Yeah, I mean, even if it'll work, they just get leggy. So for greens, you can do a more shade, up to like 60%, I think, because you want to prevent the bitter taste and bolting. But 30% is good for fruiting crops. Like tomato, especially like where you're at, Matt, Dragstrip down in Florida, it gets so hot and humid that your tomatoes are not gonna produce more flower. Like peppers and tomatoes will stop. A lot of the varieties stop producing flower above 90 degrees. So that's a really great option. You're gonna, just depends. I'm making sure that they're watered really well. I haven't used pelleted seed yet, but about to get some from Haas Tools. I'm gonna be using that for my paper pot transplanter because the pelleted seed is gonna work better with my. So I'm gonna start experimenting with pelleted seed, but for my my earthway seeder, I've used that for over 5 years. I've only ever used raw seed. I'm gonna go in the garage. It's getting too dark now. And usually the 4G works pretty well in here for some reason. Yeah, for some reason I get 2 bars of 4G in here. So I'll hang out for a bit longer and then I'm gonna go in. I gotta get this chicken crap off me. Oh yeah, Gloria, check out my how to make worm tea video. If you just search worm tea, the thumbnail is a picture of like a hose and a bunch of the teas coming out of it into a trash can. I think I mentioned all the extra nutrients, but I tell you right now, it's azomite, kelp meal. You should use some type of fish product, whether it's fish hydrolysate or fish emulsion. I use what's the name of that stuff? Vitamin C, and that has liquid kelp and fish emulsion in it. So I use that. And the fish stuff is really good because it has NPK as well as it's a very good fungal food. So that's why I use it. What else do I add in? Now I'm at it. I use my biochar in there. What else do I add? I think that's it for now. My IMO, my Korean Natural Farming, I can add that in there. I add my Korean Natural Farming stuff at the end once it's fully brewed. And I'll eventually do an update video about that stuff, but my worm tea video has that info in there. Uh-oh. What type of liability insurance do you need to produce and protect yourself financially? So most places don't require you to have liability insurance. Some restaurants and businesses want to see that you have it. I can recommend, it's called Flip, FLIP, and they protect you as far as like, if someone gets sick from anything that you sell, you can use that. Also, once you're selling and you're making more money, it's a good idea to create an LLC, a limited liability company. That way you're protecting yourself, protecting your personal assets and all that. But yeah, check out Flip Insurance, and they're pretty good. The cooler's empty because I only use it once a week. I just use it like 24 hours a week for market, and I'm only doing one market a week right now. I have another like smaller fridge, like just a normal like home fridge, and that's where I use to keep all my stuff. Like I harvested beans and squash today, and I'm keeping it in that other fridge. And I'm at such a small scale that I can get away with that. But if I, was a little bit bigger, I'd need to run that thing all the time. But luckily, I don't have to. But I love my fridge. I got a video if you guys want to learn how to make a walk-in fridge, or you can convert one of these reach-in fridges, and you use an air conditioner unit and a CoolBot, which is this really cool device. I've got a $20 off coupon if you guys want to get one, and you can see my video on my YouTube channel about how to make them. But they're pretty cool. You can even do walk-in fridges, and it's it's like 10 times cheaper than if you were to just buy a commercial walk-in. So it's definitely the way to go. And they're very efficient for electricity as well. Cool, guys. Well, I'll stick around for another couple minutes, and then I'm going to head out. Gonna eat some dinner and clean up here. But it was really fun streaming with you guys today. Thank you guys for all the support on Twitch. Super helpful. Thinking of sizing it for having a cooler 24/7, but now that I see how you have it, I can make the battery bank smaller. Oh, cool, Matt. That's awesome. Yeah, that'll be sweet to have solar on your property. That'll be really cool. Yeah, and depending on how many cubic feet that you'll need for your fridge, you can run what is mine? I think the AC unit I'm using is like 8,000 BTU. I forgot. But if you go to CoolBot's website, they have the formulas for how much power of the air conditioner unit that you'll need for the amount of cubic feet, the volume of the fridge. Exactly, and it's way more efficient to run this air conditioner unit to cool something than the condenser units that are usually in these walk-in fridges, or like this is a Trowelson reach-in fridge. It's a total scam, honestly. Like you got to make your own. It's way better. Yeah, no problem, Legendary. Happy to stream and hang out with you guys. Cool. See you later, Jerry. Thanks for watching. Yep, the sun's almost gone. Well, it's 8 p.m. right now. Yeah, you'll really like it. It's really cool building your own fridge, and it's so easy. And if something breaks, it's awesome. You just go buy yourself another air conditioner unit for a couple $100, and you're done. It's just so simple. If your condenser, crazy, complicated refrigerant system breaks, yeah, good luck trying to fix that. Or you got to pay somebody to fix it. So, nice, Elijah. I'm glad that they are useful for you. Cool, guys. Well, I'm gonna go and eat some food. Thanks for watching the stream tonight. Hope it was real helpful and everything. Thanks for subscribing. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you feel like helping me out, please share my videos. If there's any of my YouTube videos that you like, share them with your friends or any gardening groups that you're a part of. Just help me get the word out about my channel. That would be super helpful to me. And if you feel so inclined, you can support monetarily through PayPal or my Patreon. I do a live stream every single month with my patrons, as well as other special rewards for you. What type of saw did I use to cut the 2x4s? Just a table saw and a skill saw. And I believe I showed how to do that on my video. If you look it up on YouTube, it's called Lower and Lean Trellis. If you search that, you'll be able to see how I did it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks to Matt from Dragstrip for moderating. Check out his pages down in the description. He's on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. See ya, Adam. Thanks for watching. Glad you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys next time on the next Nature's Always Right video.